Okay, girls, for our next step, we have to focus here on part of your notes. So sometimes you're not given an equation at all. So that's why this subtitle says find the equation of the line. Because when we're not given an equation at all, then we have to find it. What do we need? As we have covered in the previous videos, what we need is these two special characteristics, the gradient and the y-intercept. That is going to give me the characteristics of the line that I'm looking for. Okay, so let's look out here. What steps you're when you're given 2 points? So I have point 1 and point 2. The coordinates of point 1 are x1 and y1, and the coordinates of point 2, x2 and y2. So it says calculate the gradient using the formula. You have that formula upstairs, up in your notes. Identify the y-intercept. If it was not given, you have to find it. So to find it, what you have to do is use one of your points and sub it into the formula. And the gradient that you have used, sub it in as well, and then solve for C. I have used color coded here, so you see that this X showing you where that X is going to go, this Y where this YY is going to go, that M where that M is going to go, and you're going to solve for C. This is only in this step. Once you have done that, you identify C. And once you have C, then you put the M that you found here into your formula and the C that you found here into your formula, and then you have your rule. Then you have to use the steps that we were doing with the previous examples. So let's do example 2. So example 2 says, find the equation of the line and sketch it. A line passes through this point and this -4 fifths and -4 and has a gradient of 2. So I'm going to follow my steps here. So it says point 1 and point 2. In this case, I don't have 2 points. I'm given already the gradient. Okay, which means that I already have in this part, we already have this one. Good. So identify the y-intercept. Do I have the y-intercept? No, I don't have it. So we're going to focus on these steps here of what I need to do, okay? So because I already have my gradient, I'm going to write it down. What is my gradient? I'm just going to write it here. My gradient is 2. Agree? Wonderful. So it says, what we're going to do here, it says, if it's one not given, we have to substitute into the formula. So we're going to put our formula. Y is equal to mx plus c. Wonderful. What is m? M is 2. That's the 2 that I have there. Now, what are my values here? My x is this x. My y is this y. And we're going to solve for c. Okay? So I'm going to put the values in. So -4 is equal to 2 times -4 fifths plus c. Okay, wonderful. So what do I have here? -4 is equal to -8 plus 5 plus c. Agree? Wonderful. So now what I'm going to do here? I'm going to add this fraction to the other side. So I have -4 plus 8 fifths. How do we solve fractions? So I have to find common denominator. My common denominator is going to be 5. That means that I have to times this one as well, 20. This is going to be all equal to c. And when I have -20 plus 8 over 5, what is going to be my answer? So my answer, I'm going to write it here because I run out of space. So my is going to be, I'm going to write it down here, is going to be equal to -12 fifths equals c. Wonderful. And with that, I have solved for c. So I have done this step here. Now what do we have to do? Sub in into my general rule. So what do I have to sub in? I'm going to do y is equal to m. What is m? 2. Now the general x minus 12 fifths. Wonderful. Okay, fantastic. So now we have to follow these steps to sketch it. So first, identify if it's one of the special cases. No, it's not. Rearrange it. We have done that because we already have it here. Identify the gradient. So the gradient is going to be 2. Fantastic. So we have it. And it's positive, so that means that it's going to be upwards. So it's positive and it's going to go upwards. Good. So I've done this one and this one. Identify the Y-intercept. So my Y-intercept, I'm going to write it here, is negative 12 over 5. And then that means that it's going to be 0, negative 12 over 5. I have it. Now we're going to plot the point. I was a little bit worried because I was like, I don't know if I have enough squares to do this one, but we'll try. So what I'm going to do here with my units is, because I have divided by 5, I'm going to do that each one of these ones I don't have enough. And you will not have enough in your notes either. So we have to improvise here. This is what we're going to do. Because you don't have it in your notes, you will have to go to one of your pages, and we're all going to do it here. Perfect. In this video. Okay, good. I'm just going to make this. I'm just going to copy it because I need it still, and I'm going to put it down here. Good. And I'm just going to do it larger. And we work and see what we find. Good. And okay, wonderful. I'm going to label my coordinates. My axis, my axis. Wonderful. Fantastic. So we're going to do this one. So I'm just going to bring my information that I need, that is this one, to where I'm going to graph it. I need this information. Good. And let's go here. And I'm going to put it here because I already know that it's going to be positive. Okay, good. Fantastic. So the first step that I have to do is to plot my Y-intercept. So let's do it. I'm going to do that each one of this unit is going to be 1/5. So if I go up, I know that I'm going to have like 1/5, 2/5. But it's negative, agree? It's negative, so I'm going to go downwards. So it's down. So I'm going to go, this one is 1/5, 2/5, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Good. I'm going to label it right away so I don't get confused later on. So this one is going to be 0, negative 12 over 5. Follow your steps. I don't want to move this screen again, girl, because I don't want you to get confused and dizzy, but follow your steps. The next step is going to be to use the gradient. Now I have a gradient of 2 over 1. We can do this, but because I have this one in squares of 5, it's going to make my life easier if I do an equivalent fraction. Look what I'm going to do. My gradient, I know that is positive, is 2, but I wanted to do it over 5. This is 2 over 1, agree? If I want it over 5, what will I do? Times it by 5, agree? So I have 10 over 5. So this is the gradient that I'm going to be using to use here, okay? It's positive, I'm going to go up. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and across how many? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great. What is this point that I have here? So to label this point, we actually have to know what is going to be my labels, because it's going to be make my life easier. So I'm going to do something that I haven't done in the previous ones. I'm going to label that down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one is actually negative 1. Agree? And here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is actually negative 2. And if I go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this one is actually negative 3. Okay? And if I go across here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is actually 1. Okay? So what we have found here, that my next point that I'm going to use here is 1, because I went across, agree? And what is this point here? Is negative 1/5, negative 2/5. So it's negative 2/5. And I have labeled my 2 points. And now I'm going to graph it. Let's do it. Perfect. Okay, wonderful. So this is working. Now, I want to do something that we didn't do in the previous ones, but I explained at the beginning. I have my general rule that is y equals 2x take away 12/5. We're saying that this point is part of the family that is described by this rule. So if it's true, I have to sub in and it should work. And I'm going to do it to check my work. Okay, so what do I have here? Y is equal to negative 2/5. So I'm going to sub in negative 2/5 has to be equal to what? 2, I always like brackets, you know, when I'm timesing, just to make sure. I'm actually going to put the point that comes up in your CAS calculator. Times 1 minus 12/5. Just a warning, girls. Kids just woke up. I'm just listening to the steps, so they're going to come here in a second. Negative 2/5 is equal to 2 take away 12/5. If I find a common denominator, what is going to be the common denominator here? 5, which means that this one has to be multiplied by 5, so it's going to be 10. And what is 10 take away 12/5? So I have on my left hand side negative 2/5 equals to 10 take away 12, negative 2/5. And because I have left hand side equal to right hand side, therefore is true. Make sense? Wonderful, girls. I hope you find this video useful.